Book 4 is down. On to book 5. First of all, let me say thank you guys for actually coming to my video. First of all, let's just say thank you for coming to my video because so many people don't. So for those of you that may be new here, let me just give you the Cliff Notes version because I'm going over the story and I don't want to bore everybody that's been here for the journey. But back in 2020, I did my first audition for an audiobook and I nailed my first audition, and then I ended up with multiple contracts. So I ended up with 5 contracts from that single audition because the first book that I did, it was a series, and the author asked me to do more of her books basically. And then I actually started a new series, and that is the book that I just completed. And from my journey of becoming an audiobook narrator, I ended up creating an audiobook narration course, and I'm actually creating even more things from that. So just stay tuned for bigger announcements as well. So for those of you that have been invested in this journey, I want to thank you for riding with me and listening to me vent. And this video is not going to be any different. So now that you're all caught up, okay? First of all, let me let you know what just happened. Amazon just sent me my email and they let me know Anything for the Family is available now on iTunes and Audible. You can purchase it on Amazon. I'm going to link it down below for those of you that are interested in supporting your girl. I appreciate you. A lot of you have supported me in the past and purchased my audiobooks, and this one sounds way better than any of the rest of them, I promise you. So let me tell you about this book, okay? Because I couldn't tell y'all about it before. Now I could tell you, right? So the book is called Anything for the Family, and you guys that know me know that I love to do the urban novels. And the author that I read for, she does urban novels, okay? So yeah, right? So this book, while it's a completely different concept than the previous books that I've done, it is, how can I explain it? Urban, gangsta, like, like you can really live vicariously through the characters. I always tell my students in my course that, and it's 100% true. So that's one of the things that drew me into audiobook narration, was the fact that you're not just reading a book. That's a total misconception for those of you that may be new here and don't know this. But when you're reading an audiobook, you are to become those characters. If it's like a fiction novel, okay, let's just use that for example. But no matter what kind of book that you're doing, you want to be able to immerse the listener into that book. So even if it's a poetry book, you want the listener to feel that poem, okay? So that's the whole point, right? This book, Anything for the Family, this is about what this family will do for each other. This is about like crazy stuff that happened in a family, outside the family, around the family, to the family. This book is crazy. Okay. So I had a really good time recording this book, the concept of the book. So just like I've done with every book that I've put out so far, I'm going to fill you in on the drama that occurred when I was recording this book and things that I've learned when recording this book as well. Because even though this was my 4th book, this was still a learning experience. Every book that I've done, I've learned something. Let's start with the drama, okay? So the first thing is when I moved here in March. Now, when I moved, I couldn't see the problem that I was getting into. And the problem is there are radio towers around where I live that interfere with every piece of recording equipment in my home. Okay, so think about the dilemma that I am in. I'm a full-time content creator. It is my job to be able to record video. And with the video comes audio. And I'm an audiobook narrator. Most of the things that make me money require recording sound. Okay, so for a radio signal to interfere in that is hell. Okay, so I can't put it any other way. It's pure hell. Okay, so I know I have a unique situation Hopefully none of you have ever had to deal with this. And I'm telling you, I'm calling out. I'm literally pleading to those of you out there that hear my voice. Listen, if you or anybody you know is into like really technical audio, and I'm not talking about like the audiobook narration aspect of things, like I have that down pat, I'm fine. My dilemma is I need to know, how do I block FM radio signal from interfering with all of my microphones? It's to the point where like I have a boom stand. This is really interfering like in my videos. Like some of you may have noticed my sound on my videos is not as crisp as it was maybe in February, because in February I have a boom mic stand that I can use. It's like the metal stand where the mic hangs over me. So the sound is really crisp. I can't use that because the boom stand is metal, and that metal is now acting as an antenna for the radio. So instead of hearing me, you would hear maybe Biggie Smalls playing as my audio versus hearing my voice. Like this is like the real dilemma that I'm dealing with, guys. Like, so if anybody happens to know somebody that is actually into that type of thing, like into radio frequencies, or knows about like audio equipment, like if they happen to film or, you know, something like that, like if they are actually somebody that knows what they're doing, if they can let me know what kind of chords or things that I can put up or something to help me, because what you're hearing, what I'm going to do, as a matter of fact, just to give you a real quick idea of what it sounds like, when I edit this video, I'm going to have to change the sound. Like I'm going to have to balance the sound out and eliminate the humming noise and all kinds of things that are coming through on my microphone. Just so you can hear the difference, this is me talking with the sound edited, and this is me talking with the sound not edited. It's horrible. Okay. So the thing is, in addition to that, when I'm okay, like I'm like clinging over here. Okay. I don't know if y'all can hear that clicking. It was bothering me. But when it comes down to it, when I was recording my audiobook, the same thing happened, right? But luckily the sound wasn't coming through my recording software. I thought it was though. So in my headphones, I could hear the radio station. So I'm literally, how how can I first of all, my box is on the lean. Listen, I'm a whole mess over here. But I'm literally holding the cord to the microphone like this while I'm reading. I'm trying to read and I'm sitting here like this. And then my camera dies. Okay. Got a new battery and we're good. But yeah, I had the cord all kinds of different ways. And I'm sitting there trying to read, and I'm trying to minimize the sound of the radio station coming through my headphones while I'm recording, because even after I realized, which was like at the end of the book. So mind you, it took me, I don't count the time. Some people will ask me like, how long did it take me to record? The finished product of the book was, I believe it was somewhere around like 6 hours or something. I know I recorded for over 30 hours, but I would say, if I had to guess, I would say maybe between like 40 to 50 hours I recorded. Out of all those hours, it wasn't until like the last maybe 5 hours of recording that I realized that the sound couldn't be heard within the recording. It was just coming through my headphones. Even after that point, I still was distracted. I would still have to constantly fix my cords and do all that crazy stuff. So yeah, that's a unique situation. I hope that none of you ever have to deal with that. But again, if anybody has a solution to help me out for the future, because I still have another book to do, I would really appreciate it. Plus, I have a whole YouTube channel that I have to run, and I would love to be able to use my expensive boom mic stand so that you guys can have even better sound in my videos. I would appreciate you. Ask a friend that might be into audio if y'all can help me out. Okay, like that's a calling to my people, like for real, y'all. But yeah, so the other issue that I ran into is a couple months ago, I ended up getting new neighbors. So I'm in an apartment. It's actually really, really quiet in this area, but my neighbor, of course, the one person in this entire place that I can hear, has a new dog. The new dog would start barking for hours, the entire time that the person was gone. Okay. And it got to the point where, because I'm like, I don't want to, I had never even spoken to these people before or anything. I'm like, I don't want to have to be like that neighbor, like, you shut your dog up. But I mean, it was excessive. Like, it was really, really excessive. And I talked to him. He was cool about it. I'm not gonna say it stopped. It really minimized, which was really helpful for me. So I'm like, compromise is compromise. I'm good with that. So the dog barking was a bit of a problem for a little while, because it took me a while to say something, because again, I didn't want to say something to somebody, especially being that they were already new here. But he had explained that his dog was new. I think that was pretty much the only issue that I had, other than getting sick. Like I got sick at the very, very end. And as I'm recording this, I just got over a second bout. So let me explain this. Okay, so I got sick toward the end of recording the book. I go to the doctor. The doctor gives me medication that I'm allergic to. That's in my chart. It's been known since I was a teenager that I'm allergic to this medicine. There's no excuse to give me this medicine. She gives me this medicine. She's not the doctor that I normally go to. My doctor was too busy to see me, so they had me see this doctor who almost killed me. Luckily, it was after I submitted the book. My daughter brings me home another virus. So yeah, I'm just now getting over another illness. That's why the videos have been a little sporadic. You may have noticed. I do let the students in my course know to expect distractions, especially if you are living in the city. So my advice to you guys that may be watching this is to, if you can, record at night, because that's when all the drama dies down, and that's typically the most quiet time to be able to record. You won't have as many sirens going by if you're in the city. Your neighbor's dogs won't necessarily be barking, even if you're in the suburbs, that kind of thing. So if you can record at night, I highly suggest that you do that. So before I move on to the things that I learned, there was one more thing that has been a consistent problem for me personally, and it's the fact that my vocal cords like get weak, like literally, especially once I got sick. I have to take breaks. Like, that's one of the reasons why it does take me so long to have to get my recordings done a lot of times, is because I can lose my voice quite easily. So I have to like really pace myself. So that's another word of advice that I have for you guys. Don't try to like bunch everything up into one small bit of time. Like, don't try to rush it, okay? For those of you that don't know, the platform that I use is called ACX. It's owned by Amazon in order to find the auditions, okay? So typically on ACX, the contracts that you will get, if you get a contract, you will often have like at least a couple months to be able to record the audiobook. That's from my experience, my personal experience. I can't speak for everybody. The authors can actually set the deadline, so it may depend on the author or the type of book or the length of the book. I don't know. My author, she gives a couple months. Like, she gives like somewhere around like 3 months from start to finish to be able to do it. Plus, being that she actually reached out to me and asked me to do these audiobooks, knowing that I was already busy with other things, the full-time content creation thing and all of that. She was well aware of that. So basically the deadlines didn't pertain to me anyway. But just so you guys have a general idea of when you are expected to turn in your audiobooks, a lot of times you can expect around like 2 to 3 months of a turnaround. So you have plenty of time, so don't rush yourself. So when it comes to the lessons, I've learned a couple things this time around. Like I said, every audiobook that I do, I learn something. And let me tell you this. Wait, let me get this real quick. Okay. See this? I suggest this method. The reason why I suggest that you read from a tablet is because if you are using a desktop, which you should be using, or a laptop, The software that I use to record my audio is called Audacity. It's a free recording platform. If you are going to record, I highly suggest that you use them because they also have something called an ACX check, and it's a plugin that you can use to basically see if your sound will meet the ACX sound requirements. It's not foolproof, but it will definitely help you. You should be recording either like on a desktop or a laptop computer. I would have the book, the digital version of the book on one side, and then the recording, the Audacity recording on the other side of the screen, split screen, right? What happened is sometimes I would click one window and then I have to double click to get the other one to activate, that kind of thing, right? And also, being that I used this sound box, it limited my vision. So the sound box was like here, and then now I have to see the book and I have to see the audio. It was just too much going on at once. What I ended up doing this time around, which made my life so much easier, was I used my iPad, and if you have another type of tablet, you can use that too, a Fire tablet, whatever you have, right? So I ended up getting this thing. This thing is a lifesaver. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put it in my Amazon store. So for those of you that are interested in it, this allowed me to have my tablet, a nice big screen that I can read off of, and it sits on the desk and I can angle it however I want to. Okay, so this has like different angles. Okay, so as you can see, it's much lower. It's not the same level as the box. So I was able to have the box. The box is normally like up here, like close to my mouth. And then I had this, and then I had my screen, which was very clear. So this was not in the way at all. And then also, if you want, even if you want it lower, you can do it horizontally if that's what you prefer. This little stand like saved my life because, and this tablet, of course. But yeah, I highly suggest that you get your reading material separate. And in case you don't know, when you get a contract, the author will send you a copy of the book so that you can start recording it. So when you get that copy, you can download it. And I downloaded it to my tablet. So that was one thing that like really saved me so much time because I wasn't having to reach around. Like I would get distracted. It just was really, it was a lot going on. And then I would have to re-record my audio a lot more. With this, I was able to just scroll to the next page, scroll to the next page. I was good. Like it was so carefree using the tablet stand and my tablet. So yeah, a matter of fact, if you don't have a tablet, I'll make sure I link that in my Amazon store as well. But the other thing that I learned when it comes to this audiobook, just be comfortable, just enjoy it. Like before, it was like really like work. This time it really wasn't because I was so confident and so comfortable in everything that I was doing. I had worked with so many of my students in my course. I had helped them figure out some of their pain points. I was just so comfortable with audiobook narration this time around that you can definitely hear it in my recording. It also helped me record faster because I wasn't making as many mistakes. I didn't feel as self-conscious. So if there was something I could suggest to somebody that is new to audiobook narration is to definitely relax and just enjoy the process. For those of you that are interested in getting some help with audiobook narration, I'm going to throw a link below this video that can help you out so that you can maneuver the ins and outs of audiobook narration. Okay, so just check out that link. And if any of you have any questions, I know so many of you are highly invested in my audiobook narration journey. And again, I thank you all for being so tuned into that because my audiobook narration videos are my longest watched videos. So I know you guys are really attentive to that and you really do want to learn. So I'm happy to bring you the information here. But with that said, I kind of rambled on a little bit, and plus my daughter's basketball game is starting in about 5 minutes and I live about 30 minutes away. So I need to cut this video short, y'all. But real quick, for those of you that have stayed this long in the video, made it to this point, do me a favor and drop a mic emoji. Let's drop some mics in the comments so I can shout you out. So I know that you are a rider and you made it this far and you are one of my best supporters. Also, before you go, again, the algorithm hates on your girl. So do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. And also, please don't forget to subscribe, turn on your notifications so you can be notified when I drop a new video. And I got to go, y'all, before I get in trouble with my child. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.
I might be broken down, but I'm smiling. I keep my head up high, though I fail. Sometimes I get a bit emotional, but then I turn around and let it